Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, like I said, please like, subscribe, and share. I see we got my man Humble in the building. Let's go, Humble. He said, let's go. We live. He said, drop a like and share with family and friends. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Humble. He said, well, we see the Jordan jersey in the background. Oh, you like that, Humble? Yeah, I'm not going to be on camera now. I just got off the bike. Like, I'm not looking too great right now. You can see me like, I just got off the bike, Humble. I still got the shades on. My hair's a mess. I don't even got my thing on. Let me turn that on. There we go. I just got off the bike, ran in here, and came on the live. But yeah, you can see the Jordan jersey back there. I even put here. Now you can really see it. But actually, that was handed down to me by my uncle. Yeah, shout out to my uncle Chad, one of my favorite people in the world. He handed that down to me. He had that when he was a kid. It's actually Jordan's rookie jersey, and he gave it to me, and so I've always held on to it, obviously. And he said, "Yes, sir, Shades, my Carol, been a boss. I love the Shades, brother. Love you too, Humble. I love you, brother. Shout out Uncle Chad. Shout out Uncle Chad. See you, Mike. Like, subscribe, share. Beautiful people." He said that's GQ magazine right there. No, maybe. I mean, I don't look too bad for getting off the bike all sweaty. But anyways, no, I wanted to come up here tonight and kind of clear the air on a lot of things. And, I think I've kind of, I don't want to confuse my viewers and where I'm at with this LeBron and Lakers thing. So I'm going to get into it tonight. I was over on TuneIn Show today, and I said some things that I heard I think might be happening. And so I want to clear the air on that stuff as well. Then we got into a Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol fiasco thing. And so my whole thing with that, though, again, if you saw that today on TuneIn Sports, was just, I'll be honest, I went back and heard what I said. I kind of did throw a little shade at Pau Gasol. I'm not going to lie. I was a little emotional when I was still talking about Kobe. And I'm not the biggest Kobe fan. I'm not one of these, like, Kobe fans that are, like, crazy about for Kobe Bryant. I'm not. I respect Kobe Bryant in terms of a lot of what he did on the basketball court. I just like the way he went about his business, his style, like in terms of just his game and his killer mentality. I loved reading his Mama Mentality book. But it's not really about like that's not like some big fandom for Kobe. I actually wasn't even a Kobe fan when I was younger, not because I didn't like him, but I was a LeBron fan. I rooted for the Cavs, so obviously he was the rival. And so, that's how I was growing up. But start off, I was bringing up the point. I didn't like the fact that, I don't like when I see guys like Dwayne Wade and Trace McGrady. It comes across like they're kind of throwing shade on Kobe like, a little bit. Like when they say those things that, they you to put me on that Lakers team, I can win a championship is what McGrady said, or, and then it got to the point where Pau Gasol got brought up to his because Dwayne Wade was sitting there saying like, talking about Game 7 of that 2010 Finals, talking about, some people had the argument that Pau Gasol was the best, should have won MVP, and I was like, whoa, what do you like? This is going a little too far. Like, listen, Pau Gasol was a great player, Hall of Famer, phenomenal player, great competitor. I was asking Tune today, I was like about him and him compared to like Kevin Love, because I was just curious to see where those guys actually had Pau Gasol ranked. That's the reason why I asked it. I know Pau Gasol is greater than Kevin Love, not even a question to me. And Kevin Love was a great player, but Pau Gasol was just, he was, to me, was better in the bigger moments and great competitor and, all that stuff. But the whole thing was, I just don't like when these people, it seems like they're trying to tear down one man to boost themselves or somebody else. I don't think that's right, especially when the man's already passed and can't speak for himself. So I get you could have basketball conversations, but I don't know. It just seems a little weird. You know what I mean? It just seems like a little like there's an agenda behind it to me. I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's that. So, but shout out to Tune In Sports. Shout out to my man Bruce today as well. Salute to both you guys. Go subscribe to Tune In Sports. I enjoyed the great conversation. It was fun and entertaining. But um, I also wanted to clear the air tonight. Like I said, my main purpose of the show is the LeBron situation. And so LeBron, obviously, yesterday, as you guys all saw, his agent Rich Paul put out a statement and was pretty eye opening. I said Saturday night LeBron was going to opt in. That wasn't really a surprise to anybody. I said Saturday night LeBron's going to opt in tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline. I expected him to opt in and take the almost $53 million, $52.6 million. That is what he did. But when I read this last night and I saw this yesterday, I was like, man. It says we are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Genie and Rob, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his franchise and all that stuff. I- You know, I just thought when I first saw these comments last night, um, told me to get to this. Shout out to Daily Meditation. He said, "What will it take to finally fire Rob Pelinka? Pelinka and Genie Bus are more focused on protecting Kobe's legacy than building a championship team to help LeBron win his fifth ring." Well, I don't think I'll get to this in a minute. Daily meditation. I got a thought of what I think is going on, but I appreciate you chiming in. But I'll answer that in a minute. Because I know a lot of people are pissed off at Rob Pelinka right now, um, which I agree. I think there's fair, especially this Dorian Finney Smith thing today unfolded tonight and today doesn't look great. But so let me get to my point though, and I'll answer that in the question. I'll actually answer that with my point. So just stay tuned. But thank you for tuning in, my friend. But again, so LeBron puts out the statement yesterday. We all saw it. And when I saw the statement yesterday, I was like, okay, look, what a lot of people saw. LeBron looks like because he says he's closely going to be monitoring what's happening with the Lakers and blah, blah, blah. And, I think what I said last night was it sounded like a subtle goodbye, like a passive goodbye, right? When you read these comments and these statements, it just sounds like a passive goodbye. And so today, when I went on Tune In Sports Show, I said, man, it really just seems like it's really trending towards a departure, possibly. Now, Saturday night, I said I predicted that he was going to opt in and play next year in LA, and that he would probably come back to Cleveland for a retirement tour the year after. I think he's going to play 2 more years, and I still believe that he's going to play 2 more years. And I think next year is his last chance of really competing for a championship. I think next year's it. I think next year he goes all in. I think that last year is more about the retirement tour that Kobe had, that Michael Jordan kind of had when he came back in 2003, or his last year with the Wizards. It was kind of like a subtle retirement tour, and maybe playing with both of his sons. Bryce is draft eligible next summer in the draft, so I think that's a goal of his, and I think Cleveland could be the right place for it. And so that's what I predict. I think he'll play 2 more years, but I think this year coming up is his to me, it's his best chance and last chance to win a championship, in my opinion. And so, when I read these comments yesterday, it sounds like he didn't, from what they're saying, it doesn't sound like LeBron really believed the Lakers are in position to win a championship. I mean, if you're sitting there saying you're going to closely monitor what they're doing and, all that stuff, and then sit there and thank Rob and Jeannie Buss for 8 years, basically, or we're appreciative. We're very thankful and appreciative for 8 years, and the Lakers are supportive of what LeBron's doing, I guess. And then I guess LeBron informed Luka Doncic and then the Lakers before they put these statements out, according to Brian Windhorst. So a lot of weird things going on here, and a lot of different things. And so a lot of people assumed, and I brought up last night, well, if he did get traded, what would that look like? We brought up the Cavs, we brought up the Mavericks. That's usually the 2 teams that have been brought up. And we talked about different scenarios, and if you were the Cavs, would you do that trade? We talked about that last night. Here's what I think, though, based on what I've heard today and seen and read, all the information. One you guys got to remember, opinions can change because you get new information, right? I respond a lot of times to the information that I see and gather. But when you get new information, things change. And so, here's how I see it. Because Saturday night, if you listen to me, I said one thing. Last night, I said one thing. But tonight, I'm going to really tell you what I think's going on here. Because you kind of have to let these things unfold to really see what's going on here. And so, as you see here, it says game of chess. And so what do I mean by that? LeBron picks up the player option, right? So LeBron puts out that statement to Rich Paul, kind of like in a way putting pressure on the Lakers. Although I don't think he needs to put pressure on the Lakers because I don't think, number one, with Jeannie Buss not in charge anymore, with Mark Walter now in charge, the new owner, um, I don't think LeBron has the leverage he has anymore, and he knows it. Like that leverage isn't there. It's Luka's franchise now. This new ownership group, they're building around Luka Doncic as they should. Their plan is for the future, like Rich Paul's statement mentioned. Um, they're not trying to really build a team around LeBron like that anymore. It's all about Luka. And I don't think Mark Walters is playing around coming in here. And, you know, and I'm going to get into the Austin Reeves side of things here in a minute. But I just think this is a game of chess. I think what's going on here is LeBron is trying to see what he can get. Is trying to see what he can get out of this new ownership group and with the front office trying to put pressure on him. But Luka Doncic is the franchise. Luka Doncic is the future, and I think they know their best chance of winning probably with what they have right now is going to be with Luka down the line. There's no moves they can really make right now that's really going to put them over the hump because they have about $19 million, I think it is, a mid-level exception, or in some money. I think they have $15 million in mid-level exception, and they have like an extra $4 million from something else. So about $19 million they can share. You could probably get 3 players out of that. Now, what kind of players are you going to get? You know, the free agency market's not for what they need isn't the greatest. Like, I mean, we'll start with the center position. Obviously, they can go out and get DeAndre Ayton. I know that's the big name everybody's talking about right now. I mean, you could get DeAndre Ayton. I don't think that's their first choice is DeAndre Ayton. I think their first choice is via trade, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But I just think a lot of what their decision making, in my opinion, is around Luka Doncic. It's building around Luka. I don't think LeBron is at the top of their mind anymore. I don't think they're not trying to build a team solely around LeBron. And when I read these statements by Rich Paul saying we understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future, we do not want he said we do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his career or his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. And so I got this statement here tonight from Chris Haynes, and when he got some inside information from Rich Paul today on an update, so here's what Chris Haynes had to say about all this.
Call from Chris.
Oh, I can tell people?
Go ahead.
Hey, the coolest agent in the game, my man Rich Paul. Hope to see you soon, my friend.
Yeah. So, LeBron James. LeBron James has been a topic ever since he opted into his deal. That Rich Paul had some remarks that kind of started some speculation about LeBron's future with the Lakers. And so, I wanted to get some clarity from him. He said, listen, what he is saying on behalf of LeBron James is that LeBron James has a few years left to play, and he's still playing at a high level, and he wants to win. And he understands, and he said LeBron understands the priority is Luka and maximizing his timeline. He said you look at the Lakers, how they moved up in the draft to take a guy to help them with their youth movement. He's supportive of that. He made it clear LeBron is supportive of that. At the same time, the desire is that the Lakers also prioritize him as well and make sure that they're doing everything that they can to still compete now. And that's all they were saying. He told me there has been no trade discussions. There have been no trade talks with the Lakers. There's been, people, I ain't gonna throw teams out there, but people have been speculating on certain teams that he might be interested in. I told all that talk is false, that there has been no trade talk. There has been no extension talk. He clearly opted in and he wants to win. And he believes the Lakers have what it takes to maximize Luka timeline, but also maximize and prioritize his timeline. So that's what Rich Paul wanted to get.
Okay, so I heard that from when I heard that from Chris Haynes earlier today. It just sounded kind of complete opposite of what they put out in their statement yesterday. Because when you say you're closely monitoring the Lakers and that they're building for the future and LeBron knows that and he wants to win right now, it comes across like you're saying you don't truly believe that you can win right now in LA. And that's why a lot of people yesterday were saying, what are you threatening to trade or something? Because you have no trade clause? Like, well, what's your goal here? And so, that this is all very weird. Like when I first heard that today, when he said Rich Paul told him that, it just sounded like damage control. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It just sounded like damage control. Like it just sounded like, okay, maybe stuff got a little too hot yesterday. Maybe the Lakers didn't really. And I think what it's coming down to is this ownership, this new ownership group in the Lakers. I don't think they really care what LeBron does anymore. Like I think they'll have him from one. Let's say, hey, do you want to opt in and play on our team next year for $52.6 million? Sure, but he just said it there. Rich Paul said it. They know the main priority is Luka Doncic. It's not LeBron. And so their decisions and everything they make is going to be Luka first. It's not LeBron first anymore. And so that's where I think LeBron is saying in that statement from Rich Paul yesterday. And I think that's what Rich Paul related to Chris Haynes today. And LeBron, he's in a place right now where, if he even tried to do a trade, and we talked about scenarios last night, but, Tune In Sports brought up a great point, and I agree with it too. Even if you try to trade him to the Cavs are dealing with the second apron thing. The Cavs theoretically could make the trade work. And we talked about some of those trades last night. And some of the trades we even said we would do because we think even for one more year, if you had LeBron, we think it's still worth it. And because, I'm being a lot of us Cavs fans were kind of low in the team right now from what we saw in the playoffs. Like Jared Allen getting bullied again, and like I'm just at a point where it's like I don't know anymore. But it does from a future standpoint, and really your team. You don't want to gut your whole rotation to get one guy that's 40. Going to be 41 in December. And only has 1 year left on his contract. Now I do think if he came here, he would be here for the remainder of his career if he did make that move. But why would you want to gut the team? And why would he want to do that too? Because you're kind of low in your chances. You got to have depth, you got to have rotation, you got to have pieces. And so a trade for LeBron anywhere is very complicated in a way because it is $52 million. You would have to gut the team, in a way. Not to say you have to gut the team, but you may have to trade some pieces you don't want to trade. If the Cavs traded him or made a trade for LeBron, let's per se, they would have to give up Jared Allen, probably DeAndre Hunter. Some people even said DeAndre Hunter and Max Strus. To me, that's a lot right there. Like, okay, you bring in LeBron, but it's like you got to have the pieces around him and the other guys to really have a team. It's a team sport. Like you can't just be a 4 guys and then put a bunch of role players out there that are, or I wouldn't say role players, guys that are really older, vet minimum guys. Like you can't have that up. That's not a good team in my opinion. That's not enough. You got to have depth and guys that fit. Like Max Strus is a valuable piece because he's a very good shooter. He understands his role. He plays hard on both ends. I think he can really help a championship team. So again, and Brian Windhorst brought this up today on First Take, and I thought he made some interesting points. Here's what he had to say.
He values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count. And the Lakers understand that, are supportive of that, and want what's best for him. Wendy, your biggest takeaway from these statements are what?
That's a lot of words, and it's not really clear. And Rich Paul said each of them with careful thought. I know I spoke to him last night, and he basically said them again, reiterating them. Now, if LeBron had just opted into his contract and moved on with the summer, there would not have been a lot of reaction. Opting into his contract is a little bit unusual. He has had 8 different times in his career where he's had a player option or something like a player option in his contract, and he's never opted into it once. He has always either opted out and left, which he did 3 different times to his teams, or he's opted out and started and gotten a new contract. So in and of itself, accepting a player option and going into the last year of his contract is unusual. In fact, never in the 23-year time of his career has LeBron ever been on a contract that's just 1 year. But he's also not the franchise player for a team for the first time starting a season in his career. So if he just opted into his contract, it would have been a little bit different, but we would not have reacted to it. These comments are what we're reacting to. And the thing about it is it implies that LeBron is not settled, that he's not 100% sure he's going to be a Laker. They're clearly left open to that ambiguity. If there's one thing that's clear about Rich's comments, it's that they're ambiguous, and that's all you can say. So the thing about it is that there's only a few ways to leave a team. One way is free agency. LeBron has bypassed it. LeBron could have been a free agent this morning. He has bypassed it. The other way is trade, which is what I'm sure a lot of people reacted to in reading those comments. But I just have to tell you guys, I think it's very unlikely LeBron is traded. Number one, he makes $53 million. It's very hard to trade a contract of that size in today's NBA. Secondly, he has a no trade clause, which not only means he can determine where he's traded, it means that he can determine what he's traded for. And so it's very unlikely that there is a trade. So I am expecting LeBron to be a Laker next season, but I'm also telling you, I don't know what to make of these comments.
So interesting comments there from Brian Windhorst. And you notice what he mentioned there. This is the first time in LeBron's career he's not the franchise player. Luka's the franchise player now for the future. And so here's what I think, based on what Windhorst said here. I think LeBron's in a situation right now where I think the Lakers are telling him, and this new ownership, in my opinion, is telling him, listen, you're under contract for $52.6 million. You can either buy into the team we're going to be building, mainly focused around Luka, which he admitted through Rich Paul in those statements that they know Luka's the future, and that's their main focal point. Like he just said, Chris Haynes just said, and Rich Paul said in the statements. So I think the Lakers are telling LeBron, look, Luka's the future. We're building a team around him first. We want you to be you can be a part of it for one more year, right? You could be the second option, or the second piece of this franchise because you still are LeBron James. But then I think after that, I think they're kind of done with him. Like if LeBron was truly committed and the Lakers were truly committed to moving forward after this upcoming season, LeBron would have opted out and signed a 1+1 because he could have got more money, which is what he's always done. But he opted in. And so what I think LeBron is in a place now where the Lakers really are the ones that have to make the decision. And I think it's up to LeBron how much pressure he wants to put on them to make a decision. Like how bad does he want out is what I'm saying. If he really truly wants out of there that badly, he would have to, in my opinion, because like he said there, a trade is very unlikely. Yes, LeBron has a no trade clause. And he could say, I want to go here. But I also don't think LeBron would want to trade if his number one goal is to win next year. I don't think you would want to pull that many pieces because you have a $52 million salary. You don't want to pull that many pieces away from that team because even if you add yourself to it, you still got to have those pieces to win. So how does this end? I think, again, it's really up to LeBron. Like Windhorst said, there's something going on here that's uncertain. And Windhorst has said too, LeBron has power in the situation. It's really up to LeBron how far he wants to push these buttons. And I think the Lakers are content with where they are. I think they're going to try to keep making moves to build around Luka first. And I think LeBron, if he truly does want out, if he doesn't think they're good enough to win, or if he truly wants to maximize his last few years of playing ball somewhere else or have more control, the only way, like he said there, you can't be a free agent. You opted in, so that's off the table. A trade it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. The only other way you can get out of there is via buyout. And so could it get to that point where, it gets so bad where LeBron maybe threatens to sit out, or maybe the conversations aren't going well behind the scenes and the Lakers have a good idea LeBron doesn't really want to be there and they're paying him $52 million. Because here's where the Lakers have to really think about, right? I think this year's kind of a transition year for the Lakers. You're getting new ownership. You're moving off the LeBron era. You're going into the Luka era. I think Rob Pelinka's on the hot seat. I think you're going to see, what does J.J. Redick look like in year 2, right? They have a lot of decisions they got to make. And I think they're really geared up for 2026. And that's my opinion. I think that's what they're gearing up towards. And I even have an article today that came out. I sent it to Tune In earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. So this came out today. Let me email this to myself and I'll put it on the screen for you guys. Give me 1 second. I think the Lakers are gearing up for the future. I think they're looking towards 2026 when their books will be really clear. And I think that's the smart play for them, in my opinion. Let's see. Let me get this emailed to me, and I'll put this on the screen for you guys. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Thank you for tuning on in. He said they need to fire Rob and build a team now. Yeah, I'm with you, Daily Meditation. I think he's on the hot seat. This new owner, whenever you get new ownership, they're going to come in with their people. And obviously, they have a relationship with Magic Johnson through the Dodgers, obviously, and they're a great organization. And, I saw your comment earlier, they want to win. Mark Walsh, that's his goal is to win. And I think he knows his best chance of winning probably is going to be building a team around Luka down the road. And so, but I think Rob is definitely on the hot seat. That's for sure, because that's not their guy. And if they got a relationship with Magic Johnson, we all know why Magic Johnson left LA, because him and Rob Pelinka did not get along, or left the Lakers, excuse me. So here's this today. This came out on Lakers Nation. And it says, let me get this off screen here. It says, Lakers rumors looking to maintain flexibility to make a run at a superstar next summer. And so if we scroll down here, according to Dan Wojcicki, I believe is his name, of The Athletic, the Lakers are prepared to make a run at a superstar to pair with Doncic, perhaps as soon as next summer, and do not want to make any moves that now that could jeopardize their ability to do so. So that's their goal right there, according to Dan Wojcicki of The Athletic. I think they say Dan of The Athletic. We'll just call him that. Excuse me, sir. Great job reporting, though. Their goal is to build for next around Luka Doncic, and they think their best way to do it is pairing a superstar with him next summer, as soon as next summer. So I think their goal is to clear their books, keep their cap flexible for 2026. And again, everything points towards we're building. Luka's their guy now. Obviously, he's their franchise guy, but they're not really concerned with LeBron anymore. They have him under contract right now. He opted in. I found it very interesting, and Windhorst brought this up. They haven't really acknowledged LeBron's opted in. Like, they haven't put out a statement, a press release, nothing. In the past, they have. Anytime LeBron re-upped the deal with the Lakers or opted in or whatever, they always put out something. Rob Pelinka would put out a statement. They haven't put out anything yet, and it's been over 24 hours and nothing's been put out yet. I find that interesting. I don't know what that is, but it's just kind of weird. I don't know. He said, but Luka want to win with LeBron. I'm sure Luka would, but I think Luka understands the business of everything. I think he understands where they are. Again, I don't see any moves they can make this offseason that will put them over the hump next year, like dramatic moves. They could add some pieces maybe for agency, but that Western Conference is so loaded. Here, when you got LeBron and Luka, you got a chance. I think obviously two great players. So that the way they were able to kind of figure it out on the fly was impressive. Now, when they got in the postseason, though, it kind of fell apart. Things didn't go. They didn't look like a great team. They lost Dorian Finney-Smith today, and so I think they lost to Wayne, which is valuable nowadays. I think they need a center, obviously, but now they also need a wing as well. I think they got some other holes in that roster they can possibly look at and look to build around. But it's hard to, because I look at it when you're trying to. You have one plan and one vision around your franchise guy. Like, you go back to what Chris Haynes said. Like, they have a vision for LeBron or for Luka now. He's the franchise piece. He's the priority. But then it's also like we understand what LeBron wants to do too. I just don't think you can try to please both sides. Because LeBron's really on a short timeline. Luka, he's a few years removed from winning from the finals, but you're trying to build a team around Luka for the future. You can go all in right now, but what move can you make right now and go all in that's realistic? I know there's a ton of trade scenarios put out there that I don't think truly are, like, I don't know how real, let's see here. Andrew Wiggins, DeAnthony Melton, and DeAndre Ayton can win the title. Maybe. Number one, I don't know how realistic the Wiggins trade. What would you have to give up to get Wiggins? Number one. I think DeAnthony Melton's a guy I think they will sign. I've heard that name too. Daily Meditation. That's been a big name today. I think DeAnthony Melton is a name they will sign. And Yeah, I think he'll be. I think there's a good chance he's a Laker. Now, DeAndre Ayton's interesting. Now, obviously, I know that people are connecting the dots. He's the top center on the board right now in a kind of slim market. I think Brooke Lopez, would he just go with the Clippers, I believe. So he's off the board now, if I'm not mistaken. And, they got to get a center bad. Do I think he's their first option? No. And I'm going to play this clip here from Jovan Buha, I believe is how you say his name, at Lakers Insider, on what he thinks they should do. And so I'm going to play that here in a minute. But, I mean, does that make them better, Wiggins, Melton, and Ayton? Yeah. But DeAndre Ayton's still... I mean, he had some good moments in the NBA. I know some people like Kendrick Perkinson and today on ESPN that he doesn't have the best reputation right now behind the scenes. So I don't know. Is it kind of a risk? I mean, I don't think it's a risk. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know about Ayton. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know if it's... I don't know. Does it put him over the hump in the West with the other guys? I don't know. But again, I just don't... I'm just curious why. I'm with Windhorse, though. Why did LeBron have to go about it this way? It's just weird. It means something. We may not know what it fully means, but it's just kind of weird to put the statement out the way they did. Like, if you'd have just opted in and, okay, I'm opted in for my contract for next season, and that's it, like in the past, then this wouldn't be a conversation tonight. But the way he went about it, and the statement, the stuff they wrote in the statement is why everybody's talking about it. It's like Windhorse said, it's just something very weird's going on here. And it just doesn't make any sense. And it's just something's not adding up. It's just what's really going on here. And so that's what I see as well. It's just something weird's going on here. But here's Mr. Buha. I believe that's how you say his name. Let me find right. It was on Yahoo Sports today. Which one is it clipped? Right here. So this is Jovan Buha. And so before I play this today, I went on TuneIn Sports Channel, right? And I talked about the Austin Reeves situation. Austin Reeves last week was looking for an extension, kind of got a lowball offer, what it sounds like, into his eyes, a lowball offer between him and his agent. I think it sounds like his agent kind of told him, like, hey, man, you can get more money next summer or somewhere else. And so I think it's kind of a situation where the Lakers had to make a decision about Austin Reeves. I know a report came out today that they don't want to pay Austin Reeves, or they're not pay Austin Reeves, excuse me. They're looking forward to maybe doing that next summer, was the report last week when all this happened. But a report came out today that they're not taking calls right now on Austin Reeves. And so the Austin Reeves thing is fascinating to me because if you're trying to build a team around Luka and you need a center, and maybe you don't like DeAndre Ayton that much to pay him, I don't know, maybe $10 million or more, maybe there's somebody via trade you like. Could Austin Reeves be a trade asset to maybe get you a big and a wing? Because they need a big and a wing. And what's your price tag for that? I mean, I don't know. I'm very curious with the Austin Reeves thing because I don't know if they're going to be willing to, if their goal is to clear their books for 2026 and bring in a bigger superstar, how far are you willing to go in paying Austin Reeves? Because last week you showed you weren't willing to go as far as he wanted you to go, what he thinks he's worth. And that's why I kind of got stalled on the extension. So it's kind of at a crossroads, in my opinion, right now with Austin Reeves. So what do you do? I don't know. Well, listen to a name he brought up, and I brought this up on TuneIn Sports today, that there was something I heard last night about Daniel Gafford, who just signed with the Mavericks, but could still be traded. And, that's a name that's been buzzed around the Lakers for a while. I know people behind the scenes that believe there's been a heavy interest between the Lakers and Daniel Gafford. The Mavericks are in a position, too, where they need, Kyrie's going to be out a lot of next year. I know they signed D'Angelo Russell tonight for, I think it was like a 2-year, $12 million deal, but I don't think they want D'Lo at their starting point guard. I think $12 million, he's making less money than Sam Merrill is for the Cavs, who's a role player for the Cavs off the bench. So he's coming off the bench. I don't think they have hopes of putting I don't think they're having hopes of putting D'Angelo Russell at the point guard while Kyrie's out. That I don't see that personally. So they need somebody in there to handle the ball for a year. And I think they're going to have one more year with Klay Thompson, and eventually he'll be out the door after the season. They'll move off of Klay. You get Kyrie back. So what about could you move a Daniel Gafford to go get another ball handler? Well, who's another ball handler? Austin Reeves. Again, I think the Lakers are at a point where they got to decide on Austin Reeves. How far are we willing to pay this guy? Because I like Austin Reeves a lot. I know why Lakers fans love. I love him too. I think he's a great player. But if your goal is to get another, if your priority is Luka, and your goal is to get another superstar in 2026, like we read there, and that's what their goal is, trying to get somebody to pair with Luka post LeBron, and give yourself a great, which you can in LA because you're the Lakers, you're a big attraction. So how far are you willing to pay Austin Reeves? Because you have to deal with this apron stuff too. You know what I mean? You got the tax apron stuff now, which it's not really about paying the tax money, paying money is not being an issue with these new owners. It's just the system itself was designed to squeeze talent out of rosters to try to keep the league balanced, allegedly. We'll see how it works. It's very complicated, but it's really designed to squeeze players off other teams' rosters. And so let's hear what Austin Buha, my bad, I'm thinking Austin Reeves. Austin Buha. No, Jovan Buha, what he had to say today. And listen to the name that he brought up about via trade.
Their starting center next season? No. DeAndre Ayton, the overwhelming choice from Lakers fans and whoever else were the 19,000 people that voted. Is Ayton your first choice for the Lakers to be their starting center next season? No.
No. So, well, among free agents, yes, I think he's the best realistic option in free agency. I have two guys. So I have a center list that I put out on my YouTube channel of my top 10 centers via trade and free agency. Ayton was third on that list in tier 2 alone. For me, tier 1 is Nick Claxton at number 1 and Daniel Gafford at number 2. A couple issues there. Nick Claxton just is making mid-20s. So to get to that salary, Lakers have to put realistically 3 players on the table. And then there's the matter of, are they putting first in there? Are they putting Dalton Connect in there? Are they putting both? So he's expensive to go get from Brooklyn. And then Daniel Gafford, I don't see Dallas and the Lakers making another deal right now, at least. And I like, it was interesting that he extended and they kept it within the trade and extend rules where he's still trade eligible. And I think it's even a better contract now because you don't have the uncertainty of free agency looming with him and having to figure that out. So he's under contract. I think it's a team-friendly deal. But those guys, to me, they're rim protectors, they're rim runners, they're good pick-and-roll partners for Luka. They play with a certain level of physicality and energy. With Claxton, he's more of a finesse, but he's got versatility defensively. Then with Gafford, he's more of a power big. But both guys are really good finishers and I think would be upgrades. Kind of the Jackson Hayes archetype, but
all right, so that's what Mr. Buha had to say. Shout out to the Kevin O'Connor show. That was via them. Now, here's what I think about what he said. I don't think their first choice is DeAndre Ayton. He even said that tonight on his show. Mr. Buha said that I think DeAndre Ayton sounds like it's been their plan B. I think their plan A is a Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford still via trade. But how can they get that done? Right? How can they get that done? And Daniel Gafford, like he said, is on a very team-friendly deal, right? I think it's only like a $13 million he's making. It's a very team-friendly deal. You can add it onto your team. It won't affect you really in the future. And in the future is your priority, like we've read in the reports, and really keeping your books clear for 2026. I think, and again, going back to the Austin Reeves side of things, how much do you really want to pay him? I mean, obviously you couldn't come to an agreement last week because he felt like he was lowballed, and you kind of show how much you really want to pay him because you're really worried about the future. We like Austin, but how much do we really want to pay him to where it doesn't affect us in the future? So I think maybe you could see a trade scenario, and I said this today on TuneIn Sports Show. Don't be surprised. And there's some other people on the internet that even said this last night as well, and some people I trust said it, that an Austin Reeves trade maybe for Daniel Gafford could happen. Like, that's not, I don't think it could happen. I'm just not saying it will, but the way things are shaking out, I think that could happen because it makes sense in terms for the Lakers. It only makes sense for them for this point. If their goal is really truly clearing their books for 2026, and again, actions speak louder than words to me, and the way how they offered the offer they gave Austin Reeves last week and how he rejected it, basically, I don't think they want to pay Austin Reeves what he wants, to me. I don't think they do. I think they'd rather get a center. And I think if you want to bring in a center for Luka, why not Daniel Gafford, who he already has chemistry with? He played with him in Dallas. They had a good relationship. It's easy chemistry. He already knows he fits in right what the Lakers want to do with Luka because he understands Luka and played with him and has, like I said, the experience and chemistry. I think it's a natural fit. And he's on a team-friendly deal, and it keeps you clear for 2026. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's something to keep an. And if I'm the Mavericks, you're clearing off Kyrie's probably not playing next year. He's going to be out most of next year. So you need a ball handler. You put Austin out there. You'll have Austin Reeves, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively, and Anthony Davis. And then you'll move off of Klay Thompson after next season. And then Kyrie will come back. And if you like Austin Reeves, then you pay Austin Reeves. I think that's how they see it. Because, yeah, they signed D'Lo, but like I was saying over on my man Tune In Sports Show today, shout out to Tune, go subscribe. How will the Mavs feel about this? Yeah, you brought in D'Angelo Russell, but D'Angelo Russell, D'Angelo Russell, like I said, is making less money than Sam Merrill. So he's coming off the bench. And, Jovan Buha also mentioned, too, with the LeBron stuff yesterday on his show that there's been some buzz between Dallas and LeBron behind the scenes in the last week, he said, and he kind of left it there. But there's been some buzz about that. I wonder if, though, the real buzz, though, is like Toon says, actually the Dallas and the Lakers, that maybe this deal has maybe been discussed, and maybe right now the Lakers are just kind of seeing what happens and looking at the market and stuff. Yeah, that's what he said. But I think via trade, Daniel Gafford makes the most sense. And if you don't want to pay Austin Reeves that kind of money, you could see a Gafford-Reeves trade. Because, again, like he said, Gafford's a really good trade, and it keeps your books clear for 26 when you want to bring another superstar to pair with Luka, which, by the reports earlier from Dan Wojcicki, that seems to be what their goal is. What center is realistic? The center market is now dry. Yeah, that's a great question, Daily Meditation. I think, DeAndre Ayton's a name. I don't think he's out of it. I think he's definitely in the mix. I think that's their plan B. I don't think that's their first choice. He's a mix, but he's in the mix. After that, that's a hell of a question because Brook Lopez is off the board, although I don't think they were willing to pay what Brook wanted. They're not. Miles Turner, to me, is too expensive. I don't really see anybody else, Daily Meditation, to be honest with you, that's really worth it. Like, that's going to really move the needle. Ayton's probably the best one, and I know Chris Haynes said there's some momentum there, and it seems like a strong chance it could happen. But he doesn't get bought out till Wednesday. So I think the Lakers from now until Wednesday are probably calling around trying to see, about a Daniel Gafford deal or at least exploring it. I think it's their plan B, though. I think a Nick Claxton, like he mentioned, and a Daniel Gafford is their first choice. I think Daniel Gafford is a real chance. And that's just what I believe. He said, I can agree with that plan B. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton, obviously, he's got a lot of talent. We get the upside. He had some good years, was on that Suns team. But his reputation right now, from what it sounds like today, is not the greatest. And is it kind of risky in a way because of that, in his production a little bit? I don't know. What did he put up last year in Portland? I know they bought him out. I think his buyout was $10 million. So he's going to want to, because he got bought out for $10 million, he's going to want at least $10 million back in return on his next deal. So let me look up DeAndre Ayton. Let's see what his stats were last year. So 14-10. Okay, pretty productive. 56% field goal percentage. He played 40 games last year. So didn't play all the games, or a lot of. He was out. So, it's interesting. I think he probably is their best choice right now. I don't know any other. Tune. I don't know if you got any other guys. Tune. The market right now, like Brook Lopez is gone. You said Lakers are desperate. Yeah, and I think, to me, that's why I said he's plan B. Because I think the only way they're signing DeAndre Ayton is if that's all they got. It's a desperate move. So I saw somebody say today that DeAndre Ayton's kind of in a desperate part of his career, and that the Lakers are in a desperate part too, where they need a center. So they it's like a match. So, but I don't think that's their first choice, and I think they're going to have to I think it's going to come down to Austin Reeves ultimately. If they don't think Austin Reeves is worth the money even next summer, and they want to keep their books clear, then you may want to use Austin Reeves to Dallas and try to get Daniel Gafford, who's on a very team-friendly deal now for the next 3 years and has chemistry with Luka, which I think could very well happen. I'll just leave it at that. I think it could happen. So we'll see what happens. But it's a very interesting scenario happening in LA right now. Like I said earlier, I think LeBron, going back to him to finish up, I think LeBron, the only way I think LeBron gets out of LA now is via buyout. I just don't. The trade thing to me, the more I thought about it today, it could happen theoretically. And I showed yesterday some trade scenarios that could happen. It could happen. But I don't think LeBron is, if he truly wants to win, you're not going to pull, please, like Toon was saying last night, you're not going to pull guys from your team that you want to go to put you on the roster, because it kind of makes your depth worse. Your rotation's not as good. And so, and it's very complicated, like Windhorst said. It is very complicated to acquire a guy at that age who is making $52.6 million. So again, I think it's coming down to this. I think the Lakers have pivoted to Luka fully. I think they're telling LeBron, listen, you can opt in. You can be part of our team next year. And after next year, that's it. Like, if they really if LeBron was really part of their future plans and they wanted LeBron to truly finish his career there, he would have opted out and signed a 1+1 like he always has, because he actually would have got more money if he would have did that. But he didn't, because I don't think they wanted to offer it to him. I don't think the Lakers really wanted to offer LeBron the 1+1. Honestly, that not saying that's what I would. This isn't my. I just think, my observation of what's going on, I don't think they wanted to offer him the 1+1, and so that's why he opted in and took the $52.6 million. And I think that's why the statement he put out was the statement he put out, which was kind of threatening in a way of like, hey, if you don't make the moves or ain't where I like it, I may have to reevaluate my time with the Lakers. But I don't think the Lakers really care. I think the Lakers are kind of like, listen, like I said, you get to be a part of our team next year, or, it is what it is. So, I mean, could it get to a buyout situation if it got ugly enough? It could, but LeBron he would have to be the one to take it that way, to make it that way, to make it that ugly. So right now, I don't know where this is. It's very weird. It's very weird. Like Windhorst said, it's 50-50 where this can go. Like I said Saturday night before I saw that yesterday, I was like, listen, he's going to opt in, probably play one more year and come back here. I think he is going to come back in 2026. I do believe his last season will be in Cleveland, because I think it just makes the most sense for his last, retirement tour and all that. I don't think it's going to be anywhere else but here. And I don't think the Lakers are really interested in paying him beyond the season. So he's got to make a choice. How bad does he really want to win next year? He said in his statement it's his first priority. Well, if it is, either you're going to have to find a role in LA that builds around the team they're building around Luka, or how bad do you really want to leave? Where they get to the point where you know what? We don't want to keep this. He doesn't want to be here. Then we'll just buy him out and he can just go wherever he wants. And LeBron still gets the $52 million and goes somewhere else and takes a lesser deal just to go on the team. But I don't know where this is going. This is very interesting. It's fascinating. I think, again, the Austin Reeves side of things, I think, is another element in all this with the Lakers and what they're going to be doing, trying to get a center. I think, like I said, keep an eye on Daniel Gafford. I think that's the name to keep an eye on. But yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys. I'll drop the link real quick if anyone wants to come up and give their opinion real quick on what I said, or Toon, you want to come up and share what you think about this real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I won't keep you too long because I got to go anyways. But there's the link is in the chat. But what do you guys think about all this? I mean, I'm really curious what you guys think. I mean, it's a Lakers fans in here tonight. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's a great way to support my channel. Like, really, we do this for the love of it, and I love just making the content, doing it for you guys. And so if you could really would mind showing support, it's like supporting your local business. Just hit the subscribe button. It's a simple free tap of the button there, and hit the like button as well. Help to promote it more in the algorithm. And I appreciate your guys' support. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Mike says Ayton always struck me as a guy that doesn't love the game. So much talent, but he's never grown to the potential he had coming out of the draft. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of question marks around him, which that's why I think it's their plan B. That's not their first choice, in my opinion. He said, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for your support. Absolutely. Thank you guys for your support. Get some of these other comments here. Let's see. Wally earlier said shit is dry. Kobe Altman is an ass GM. Shaking his head. Yeah, Wally, shit is dry with the Cavs right now. They got no moves. I haven't seen any moves yet. I mean, I heard Lonzo Ball was a move. I like the move. But they cut Amani Bates today. That's the only move I saw today from the Cavs. So shit is dry. I know Wally, he's just not having any more with the Cavs. And, I feel your pain. Well, I get it. I mean, it's some disappointment after disappointment in the postseason. So I get it, brother. I totally get it. I'll wait a couple more minutes here. See if anybody hits the link. Tune, you want to come up here for a minute, give your quick take, and I'll let you go. Or if Mike, you want to hit the link, come up here and give your take. Anybody. You got a couple minutes. Give people the chance. But let me go back and see if I missed any comments earlier. Let's see. You guys may fire Rob Pelinka, but it'll be a little too late, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be too late because I think it's new ownership. So their clock starts right now. Yeah, I mean, this is their time. This is their plan. Every time you get new owners, they're coming with their own agenda, their own plan. Yes, Jeannie Buss is still a governor on the Lakers, but she's not paying the bills at the end of the day. That's why I said when they made the trade or they made the sale that LeBron really lost a lot of his power because LeBron, he could always flex his muscle on Jeannie Buss because Jeannie Buss was indebted to LeBron. LeBron really helped her in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? The Lakers were in a position where they needed a superstar at that time, and LeBron came, and she's not the richest of owners. I mean, the Lakers are rich, but Jeannie Buss has never been, exactly rich. And, she's always been indebted to LeBron. It's like when they had Russell Westbrook and LeBron wanted him there, and then they didn't want him there anymore. She had to pay $8 million out of her own pocket to get him out of town because LeBron wanted it done. There was a rumor, too, after they lost to the Suns in 2021 that, they were looking to possibly move AD because they were like, hey, man, we won a championship with this guy already. We got LeBron. We worry about his health. I don't know if we can win another one with him. But LeBron was like, went up to Jeannie Buss for I was like, no, I need AD. So what they do? They kept Anthony Davis because LeBron wanted him. So, yeah. Mike, you there?
Yes, I didn't want to say anything while you were finishing your point to my lovely comment.
Now you said, why did we cut Amani Bates?
Yeah, I didn't even see that. We cut Amani Bates.
Yeah, we cut Amani Bates. So I talked about it on Tune. It broke as soon as we were on his show. I think even if it's not LeBron or whatever, which I don't think it is, but I do think the Cavs have a move coming, Mike, via trade. That's what it sounds like. And so I think they cut Amani Bates because I think they just want to move off. And I think they wanted to clear the spot for a potential trade.
Okay. So I'm a little ignorant.
That's the only thing I could think of because I don't know why.
Right.
I don't know why you would just cut him. I mean, you developed the guy in your system for 2 years. This was supposed to be. We were all thinking, okay, this year coming up, it's clear for him. It's a clear path for him to go out there and finally play and do something.
When he was out there, he was good.
Yeah, he played well in that last game, and everybody sees potential. Like Shaq even was calling out the GM, but the only thing I can think of, Mike, is that it's because they got another move coming. That maybe they need to clear the space because I know Brian Windhorst did mention last week that their biggest goal was shedding salary before July 1st. Well, tomorrow's July 1st, so the only way they can really make moves now really is via trade because they're in the second apron. And there's not really anybody out there that's worth signing. Unless maybe they got somebody they could sign. I don't know that they like. Maybe they'll sign somebody. But I think there could be another trade coming. I know Jason Lloyd was asked today that do you think a small or big trade's coming? He kind of nodded his head like, yeah, I think there is a trade coming. So that's interesting. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that is super interesting. I bet that's news to me. I just straight up cutting Amani Bates. I mean, you'd think he'd have some value. But yeah, great show as always, Joseph. I think you ironed out everything perfectly. Put a little cherry on top of the sundae on this ongoing LeBron saga, and LeBron always gives us so much to talk about every offseason. He really is polarizing isn't the right word for LeBron. He's got the spotlight. He'll always have the spotlight. I always think even when he retires, he'll still manage to find the spotlight. It's like Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Same kind of thing. Like, even though now
I mean, he's one of the best. He's one of the biggest name athletes of his time. I mean,
right.
He'll always, it's like, even yesterday when he opted in, if he would have just opted in normally, it still would have been a big headline. Not as big as it was. It would have been the first, probably story in a lot of people's shows, but yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I just love what you said with how you described the situation and being that, LeBron is watching the Lakers and trying to put pressure on new ownership, but new ownership is pretty much like, look, we're going to do what we're going to do. And if you want to be a part of it, great. If not, we'll figure it out. I think that's probably the most realistic situation that's going on. I thought you put it elegantly, much more elegantly than I did. But yeah,
we got a new viewer, T Sweezy. T, you there? T Sweezy, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, brother.
Yeah, my bad. No, your
Okay.
channel just popped up. Are you guys Laker fans?
No, I'm not necessarily a Laker fan. I just cover basketball. I grew up in Akron, Ohio, so I covered LeBron my whole life, and was a fan of his. And I'm just fascinated with the story. Obviously, the Lakers are a big brand, and
Yeah.
I think it's a big moment in the NBA in a way because it is LeBron, and
Yeah.
it's the fascinating story. What's your thoughts on it? I appreciate you coming up here.
Yeah. Your channel just popped up, so
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber too. My name's T
Sweet.
Sweezy. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm a Celtic and Raider fan.
All right.
I also cover football and basketball. I don't just touch on the Celtics. I also touch on other NBA teams as well. Now, what was your question? I'm sorry. I was just trying to give an introduction.
Oh no, I appreciate you coming on the show, and shout out to your channel. Everybody go subscribe to him. What's your thoughts of this? Do you got any thoughts on this situation we're talking about, the topic at hand with LeBron and the Lakers? And I mean, kind of, what do you think of it all? Go ahead, floor is yours.
So what's going on with LeBron?
Well, LeBron yesterday, he obviously opted into his $52.6 million option, which everybody really expected, But what was obvious, is catching a lot of people's eye, and what people are talking about today is the statement here on the screen. You can see a quote from Rich Paul, his agent, was LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that. But he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie and Rob, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. Quote, we understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that and are very supportive and want what's best for him. And there were some other reports that followed up today, saying how a trade for LeBron, if LeBron, because LeBron has a no trade clause, that if he wanted to threaten a trade, or ask for a trade, it's very complicated because the salary and just with the tax apron stuff now in the NBA. And but the statement there is pretty eye opening from his agent. So what's your thoughts about all this?
Hey, what's your name, Joseph?
Yeah,
Joseph. Who's the source?
This is from Sham Sharania.
Can you send me the article in the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if you don't like what direction this team is going, you knew that when they traded for AD, like, I'm not gonna lie though, I feel like LeBron didn't know that they was trading for Luka because Nico Harris, he only called the Lakers. You know the Lakers is thirsty and desperate. You know what I'm saying? So Rob Pelinka is trying to do anything to satisfy satisfy LeBron, this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if LeBron knew, I think he would have went about it a different way. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he mind playing with Luka, but he knows LeBron can't play freaking defense in the Lakers. They're one of the worst defenses in the league. And AD, he covers a lot for the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, if they never, I've been telling people this, bro. Like, if they didn't win a championship because of LeBron, yeah, LeBron is the GM. You know what I'm saying? But if they never got AD, Rondo, JaVale, former champion. Danny Green, former champion. KCP, underrated pickup, former championship. Former champion. Avery Bradley sat out, obviously. They had Caruso, undrafted steal. I told people that, bro, Austin Reeves is not as good as Caruso, bro. People were delusional. Austin Reeves, he's an above average role player, like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, see, when you're a role player and you're on the team with LeBron, you're going to always get the spotlight. You get what I'm saying? If he was on Detroit, Washington, New Orleans, you would never hear from Austin Reeves. Now, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? But Austin Reeves is not like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But it's just weird. He was more overhyped than Caruso when he was in L.A.
I got the here's the breaking news from yesterday. If you didn't see it, this is when the story broke from Shams.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me hold on.
News here on SportsCenter involving somebody on the NBA Mount Rushmore. We welcome in senior NBA insider Shams Charania. And Shams, 5 p.m. today, the deadline for players or teams to exercise options. One of those players with the decision to make is LeBron James. What more can you tell us?
Phil, LeBron James is opting in to his nearly $53 million player option for the 2025-2026 season. So what we do know is he will be playing a record 23rd NBA season. Still not sure whether he's going to play one more season or he has multiple years left. But I'm told he wants to compete for a championship next season. And he is uncertain about the Lakers roster moving forward. And my understanding is James is supportive of the Lakers positioning themselves around Luka Doncic, building for the future. And Rich Paul told me this morning, the Clutch Sports CEO, that the Lakers have been true partners of his and LeBron James for 8 seasons while he's been there. But as we see right there, he also told me the franchise is going to do what's best for them. They understand that they have to do what's best for the long term. And this adds an interesting wrinkle here in free agency. LeBron James is evaluating how he wants to finish his career.
That is a lengthy statement there from Rich Paul. And we know Luka's eligible for a 4-year extension, August 2nd. So with what you've been told, that statement we've just read, what does it all mean for the Lakers and LeBron moving forward?
The Lakers' perspective is they're doing everything they can to build the team the right way, to try to compete for a championship. We know they're in the center market right now. So you look at centers like Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, Al Horford, all available in the market. They're also dealing with Dorian Finney-Smith. He's got a player option decision, $15.4 million player option. He also faces a deadline later today. So they're doing what they can. But LeBron James clearly is of the mindset that he wants to compete for a championship. And he's going to be monitoring very closely. Are the Lakers going to make the moves that puts them in position to seriously compete in that vaunted Western Conference? And then if not, where do those conversations go? That becomes a subplot of this offseason.
Lakers.
Yes, that was a report. And then the Dorian Finney-Smith thing, I don't know if you saw today, he ended up opting out yesterday, and then he signed with the Houston Rockets today for 4 years, $53 million.
Damn. That wow. As Shams Charania said, this shit is real. Wow. So LeBron wants to. So let me get this straight. So he had basically a 1-year contract, right? But he opted into the final year. If you don't want to be there, why opt in? You could have just been a free agent and signed with anybody. Is it because that he would have got less money if he would have just signed as a free agent because of his age?
Yeah, I think if he would have signed somewhere else, he wouldn't have got $52 million from any other franchise. But I think if he really wanted more money, he could have actually opted out and signed a 1+1 with the Lakers, which he signed, throughout his career. He's always signed those 1+1 deals. He would have got more money. Yeah, where like basically you sign for next year a new contract. So let's say he would have opted out, right? He signed a contract, a new one, and he would have had been under contract next year and had a player option probably the year after for the 26, 27. So he would have got more money. He would have doubled it, which is what he's always done throughout his career, especially when he came back to Cleveland in 2014. But he opted in, and which wasn't a surprise because he's only got X amount of years left. But the way they put the statement out, his agent, and how he's monitoring the situation. But I broke it down on my show tonight. It sounds like the Lakers, which they should. They got Luka now. He's really their franchise guy. He is their franchise guy. It's not LeBron's not the main priority anymore. So they're kind of at a crossroads where it's like if that statement, what Shams said is really what LeBron wants to do. how bad does he really want to stay there then? And will he be willing to try to, like he said, discussions could go elsewhere? Like he said at the end, I think the only way he can leave there is via buyout, because I think a trade's very complicated.
Right. Like I was saying, though, the Lakers can't ask for a lot. You know what I'm saying? They can't ask for a first round pick. Again, KD is KD is 3 years younger, 3 or 4 years younger than LeBron. The offer that Miami could have got KD, but Miami they didn't want to give up Khalil Ware or Tyler Hero in that pick. You know what I'm saying? It was Houston. I believe Houston offered the best because Houston had the closest pick. Houston had a lottery pick, so that Suns would have been dumb if they turned that down. You know what I mean? But like, I would have asked for Torrey Eason or Jabari. You know what I'm saying? So I would have said both sides won if they would have got Torrey Eason or Jabari. But the fact that they only got Jalen and Dylan and one first one first round pick and some seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Phoenix
what,
lost the trade.
Yeah, I mean, you lose Kevin Durant, you probably already lost to begin with, but because I think he's still one of the obviously better players in the league. But I think that's where KD wanted to go all along. I think that was him and Ime Udoka, the coach, currently had a great relationship to hit off at USA Basketball, and they didn't want to pay Jalen Green obviously the money going forward. They didn't think what he was demanding, and I think that trade actually almost happened too at the All-Star break this last season, but Phoenix wanted more in the deal. They must have got what they liked enough. So with the draft picks and the Capitals, so yeah. But I mean, what do you think? How do you think this LeBron stuff plays out? Do you think the Lakers just tell him, like I was saying? I think the new ownership now. I think they're going to tell him, listen, you could be a part of our team next year. You're technically under contract, and we're building around Luka, and you just got to buy in. And then after that, we can depart because you're a free agent.
Yeah. Well, if it was up to me, right? Jeannie no longer owns the team, right? Because Jeannie,
she's
she's a
technically
terrible owner.
she's still a governor,
She's?
but she's not paying the bills anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they kept her on as like a basketball consultant. She has a governor role. Like she gives input on basketball decisions still, but she does. LeBron, to me, was his power in that organization was through her.
She's been around for that long and still don't know basketball.
Yeah,
like
she's
she knows
really
a
just
little
a
bit
face.
as a fan. She knows as a fan, but she doesn't know the business part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I think they just kept around for a face, just to have a face, because
but
she's.
let me ask you this: so how the hell did the brothers lose the team to her? That don't make sense. Why they fighting over a team?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you that, to be honest with you. I don't remember when all that happened. I'd have to go look that up again. But that's an interesting question. I mean, because I know for Mitch Kupchak was there for a while, and then eventually she took over control. Yeah, it's a good question. I know. Is there any Lakers fans that probably know that more than me because you guys know the history? I put that in the chat. But yeah, I mean, she's not the richest of owners either. I mean, the Lakers are obviously a rich brand, but she wasn't the richest of owners by any means either.
She is now.
Yeah, now she's got
not an owner, but rich.
Yeah, because you got that $1 billion most someone ever paid for the team or something, or
$10 billion.
Damn.
Yeah. But these new owners, they got big pockets, and they're own the Dodgers, and
the Phoenix owner is a dumbass. He don't know shit about basketball. Yeah, because how you gonna trade for someone and then he had the worst contract in the NBA, and on top of that, like it's not 2018 Bradley Beal. And on top of that, like Bradley Beal was never a first, or he wasn't really he kind of was a second option, but he wasn't reliable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna trade for somebody? Then you ask him, "Do you want to be traded?" He said no, because the only two players that have a no trade clause is LeBron James and Bradley Beal, so they can control the trade destination. You know what I'm saying? But Bradley Beal, he has 1 year left on his contract. If I was Phoenix, I would just send him to a trash team with multiple draft picks. I'll give Washington a call. You know what I'm saying? Or who else a trash team? I'll give Charlotte a call. You know what I mean? Because it's only 1 year, for salary dump. Colin Sexton, he was one of the Jazz. He was one of the Jazz's best players, right? He got traded. Him him and the second round pick I traded for Yusuf Nurkic, who the Suns had a hard time getting off of. And that's crazy. You got Colin. Hold on, let me get this straight. So you got Colin Sexton, the second round pick from Yusuf Nurkic. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some fascinating stuff going on for sure.
How's
I
he
gotta
going to
ask.
help?
Oh,
How's
I'm
he going
sorry.
to help you? How is he going to help Utah? Because Danny Ainge. That don't seem like a Danny Ainge move.
Yeah, I don't know what Utah's doing. I mean, they got some younger guys over there. I know Walker Kessler's been a big name. People have talked about. Could be on the move because he's only worth $3 million. A nice young center. Do
Yeah.
they really want to move him though? I don't think they really do. But I don't know. That's fascinating. I mean, it's gonna be. It's already an interesting offseason for sure. And I want to ask you. I know you said you're a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
I just want to, from a Celtics perspective, what do you think of what they're doing right now? Obviously, they had almost a $500 million bill. They
What
would
do I
have
think? What do I think of who?
the Celtics and what they're doing right now with the trades they made. Obviously, I know they
Okay.
had a
I'm
they had a
glad.
lot of
Hey,
money with the
I'm glad
they
you're
were up
asking that.
against. Yeah, they had to shed a lot of salary obviously because of the apron and the money, how much
Okay.
money they would have paid for that team. What do you think of the
Gotcha.
Celtics? What they're doing going forward?
Okay, so basically, the reason why we were able to make the roster over the last 2 years is because Tatum was still in his rookie max, and Jalen Brown was in his first year of his super max. And what I was going to say, Derek White was still on his cheap contract that he had with the Spurs. So Derek White contract didn't kick in till his contract didn't kick in after the championship. You know what I mean? So pretty much the Celtics after they won the championship, they just re-signed anybody that was on the roster, which is freaking stupid. You know what I'm saying? You knew you had to pay Tatum. You knew Brown Supermax didn't even kick in yet. You knew you had to pay White. Drew Holiday had 1 year left on his contract, and you basically re-signed him and gave him the same contract he had in Milwaukee. You gave him a 4 year, $140 million. You lost your mind. Mind you, KP took a pay cut to come to us. You know what I'm saying? KP could have got more money. KP only signed with us for a two-year, $83 million. He was only making $33 million a year. So his contract wasn't really hurting us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Best ability is availability. He wasn't always available. When he's healthy, the dude is nice. You know what I'm saying? But he hasn't had a great year. The first year, KP did play the big part of it. I'm not gonna lie. Even though like he was killing Miami, even though he got hurt in Miami, like he played a huge part of us being the number one seed. You know what I mean?
right.
Drew with Derek White, he fell off after the Miami series. Derek White stayed destroying Miami. Derek White was trash from the second round all the way to the finals. You know what I'm saying? He had one decent game. Um, Al Horford, my fault, I'm gonna touch on him later. Like I was saying, who I'm gonna touch on? The Jalen Brown. I tell people that we have two superstars. You know what I'm saying? We got
Right.
two of the best two-way wings in the game. You could put Jalen Brown at the 2, the 3. You know what I'm saying? If Jalen Brown really wanted to play elite defense, he can. Jalen Brown. I consider Jalen Brown an elite defender. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like people be getting the word elite. They love doing that word elite around so much. For example, uh, uh, Jared Vanderbilt. When the Lakers beat the Warriors, they said Jared Vanderbilt locked up Curry. How did he locked up Curry if Curry is getting triple teamed by AD, LeBron, Rui, hella people? Mind you, Curry's only 6'3" and he weighs about 100 and 90 pounds?
Yeah, somewhere in that
And
ballpark.
AD's damn near 7 foot, you 6'11", Rui 6'9", like what LeBron is 6'10", 6'9", like bro, you know what I'm saying? Curry was still destroying y'all. You know what I mean? Um, Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt, like when he was on Minnesota and Utah, he was a glass cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause Cat could play the 4 and the 5. He was great, like how to use him. The way he was on the Lakers, they're trying to make him a Dennis Rodman, Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley, Draymond, Robert Williams. Because I don't know if you watched Robert Williams when he was healthy with Boston. Robert Williams can guard 1 through 5. You got to see how Rob Williams guards. You know what I'm saying? But he got bad knees. Kawhi Leonard. Who else I could throw out there? Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Dyson Daniels. Who else? Who else out there? AD. Yeah, they try to make it seem like Vanderbilt could do what they could do, but he's not a good POA defender. POA, for people who don't know, perimeter defense. If someone's constantly getting beat off the dribble, right, and just jumping all over the place, and then AD comes out of nowhere and get a block, how does that make him an elite defender? How does that make him, Vanderbilt can guard 1 through 5? Since when, where? Why every time a role player comes to LeBron, weak-ass team, they stay getting overhyped? He's not that good. Like, he's okay, but he ain't nobody special. Now, Finney Smith, he could play. You know what I'm saying? Finney
Yeah,
Smith
now he's
actually is a
gone.
good defender. Exactly. He's legit. Dyson Daniels, if you
And
want to
now
watch
Houston,
elite,
KD's got him with him in Houston.
facts. If you don't want your elite defender, look at Dyson Daniels, look at Luke Dort, look at Caruso. You know what I'm saying? Look at J Dub. J Dub, I like J Dub. You know what I'm saying? J Dub
Yeah,
is
I like
getting up
him
there.
too.
Then you got Chet. Oh my God, Chet is getting up there too.
What do you think? What do you think? We have somebody on the screen that thinks Anthony Simons is going to be going to the Celtics is a great pickup. What do you think of that pickup?
It was weird because I don't seem like the move we make. Like I said, man, he's a good playmaker. He can create his own shot. He can shoot. You know what I'm saying? He averages 20 points a game. He never been in a winning situation. He can't play defense. It doesn't matter what we do next year because we're out of the mix. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that
Yeah.
next year. So I don't think Brad Stevens will bring Jaylen Brown back. Joe Mazzulla definitely will because he's stupid. He think his job is safe, but Joe Mazzulla is definitely going to get battle tested once again, and this season is going to determine. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Mazzulla, he got carried by Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? Joe Mazzulla is a role coach. What does that mean? He gets carried by his assistant coaches and his players, and he got lucky last year. You know what I'm saying? He won a championship with Ime Udoka's squad, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Ime
Yeah, I mean that's a good
Udoka
point.
built that foundation. You know what I'm saying? And he got kicked out over some shit that had nothing to do with basketball, and it was consensual. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, what do you think? Before we wrap it up here, because I got to get going here. What do
my
you?
bad.
I appreciate. No, you're good. I appreciate your time, brother. I was curious. Celtics side. What do you think moves they should make throughout the? Or how am I going to phrase this? By the time Tatum comes back, how do you think they should prep that roster for when Tatum comes back? Because obviously, with a healthy Tatum, you got
Okay,
a
I'm glad
chance.
you asked that. Okay, cool. Okay, you should keep Anthony Simon because he's coming off an expiring deal. Keep him. Um, I'm glad. I'm so happy the Spurs took Luke Cornett off of us. He freaking sucks, bro. He's the only 7-7 center that I know that can't get a rebound, can't block a shot. He don't have a back-to-back basket game, no post game, no nothing. We have Nehemiah Queta. He was playing great the first half of the season. I'm telling you, bro. Nehemiah Queta was a free agent, bro. He'll be a starter on the Lakers. He'll be a good quality backup for the Clippers because you know Zubac is a dog. Um, who else needs a center? What's the team that needs a center? Did I say Golden State or no?
You say, well, who's their center at Golden State?
No. I said who needs a starting center? Like who needs center help? Golden State,
Lakers definitely need
Lakers.
one.
Yeah, he was starting Golden State and the Lakers. I'm telling you, bro. Nehemiah Queta has a post game. He has one of the highest ratings on our. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch Nehemiah Queta,
The
bro.
Cavs actually, who we cover, they need a center too. So for a backup center.
I'm telling you, bro. If he get with Kenny Atkinson, I'm telling you, bro. Nehemiah Queta, you gonna be like, whoa, bro. Boston is because Joe Mazzulla doesn't like him because he doesn't shoot threes, man. You know what I'm saying? You know Boston let their white boys. But
Well, they like to shoot a
anyways,
lot of threes too.
yeah. You live and die by the three. See, I told people don't sleep on the Knicks. The delusional fanboys. We swept the Knicks. We beat the Cavs 3-1. Okay, we like the Magic. I'm not gonna lie. If the Magic had what's the other guy they was missing? They was
Desmond
missing
Bain.
Suggs. No. They was missing Suggs, Mo Wagner, and somebody else. I can't remember. Paolo. The only reason Magic was a freaking 7 seed is because Paolo and Franz missed a lot of games. That's the only reason. The Magic is not a trash team.
No.
KCP, he didn't do what he did for what he did for Denver that first year. That's what he thought they was getting. But KCP was trash. I'm surprised Memphis took him.
Yeah.
But
Is there any
yeah.
big name player you think we should keep it on? The Celtics may have on the radar without the next year for Tatum. Obviously, they got Jaylen Brown. I mean,
Yeah,
is there
right,
any
right.
do you think there's
Keep the
any big
Jays.
name possibly they can go for via trade or free agency next summer?
Right.
Have you seen anything yet?
I haven't seen anything, but look though, keep the Jays together because you don't break them up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Keep the Jays. Brad Stevens, take a year off. Go with the young guys. Even call some G League players. Tell Jaylen Brown to go to the Bahamas or something, or go on a yacht. Send Jaylen Brown out of town. You know what I mean? Tatum, don't worry about nothing. I would go with the young guys. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't win, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want us to get into playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you rather keep
because
the
it's gonna
draft
be
pick.
we're gonna get blown exactly. 'Cause I just learned this year that the draft pick is based on your wins. I didn't know that. Cause I'm like, well, we lost in the second round. Don't we get like 25 or 24? They was like, no, it's based on the wins. I said, damn it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, man. Celtics take a year off, and then next thing you know, get a good draft pick, try to get a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying, or arguably get a top 5, and then next thing you know, Boston will be back in the mix. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I mean, as long they're always great. I mean, there hasn't been a well-ran organization when you got Tatum and you
But
got Brown. I think you always have a shot for sure. Well, I know you said you're a Raiders fan too. We cover a lot of
yeah,
football. You know, I'm actually
word.
interested. Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
we're actually a football first show when it comes to sports. We cover other stuff in life too, but I'm actually interested in the Raiders as well because one of my former teammates, Trey Tucker's on there.
Oh,
Um,
you play with Trey Tucker?
yeah, I played with Trey in high
Where
school.
at? High
At,
school.
yeah, at CB Chicago Valley Christian Academy here in the Akron area in Ohio.
How was he in high
So,
school?
oh, he was ice cold. I mean, I saw him. I was with him for a year when he was a freshman, and he was still small. He was a ninth grader.
Yeah.
Had to build his body up over time and stuff like that. But he always had elite speed, even back when he was in middle school. I remember hearing about him before I played with him, and he started from day one. And once he got to his junior year, it's really when he peaked and took off in high school, and just hasn't looked back since. And he was very dominant in high school, just with his speed. He was just an elite playmaker and the ball in his hands. A lot of people could really stop him. And then when he went to Cincinnati as well, he played with what my best friend went to Cincinnati with him, play with him there. And actually had a pretty good career there and was a big part in helping their offense get to the college football playoff that year. But he's always had that elite speed, and he's a hard worker. And I know he's working his tail off this off season with some guy that is renting in the area around here. And so I mean, you guys got a good. If he gets a good opportunity there, I think he can really can flourish with his speed. That speed like that's hard to find, and
Yeah.
he's a great kid. He's a great, very hard worker, and he's very committed to his craft. And as long as he gets in the right situation, he'll flourish.
You hear me?
But yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. What I was gonna say, I don't see us winning past 7 games. I hope Trey Tucker have a good year. Um, we got Geno Smith. I don't have a problem with him at all. It's just, our team is not that good for us to pass on raw talent like guys like Shador. It was some hidden gems in the mid round pick. We passed on Tommy and Teddy Buchanan. We could have got Denzel Burke in the mid round for 4th, 5th round pick. Like we could have got Siobhan Rebel. That's what I wanted. That safety Dallas got him. Or I think he on Seattle. Nick something. He got an African name. He's pretty nice,
Mike, do you know that
but
name, Mike? Because you covered the draft real intent, Mike.
he has a funny name. He's on Seattle. Nick something. He's a safety. He went in the second, third round to Seattle.
The third round.
I think
I
his
have to
name
go.
is Nick something. He was a mid-round pick. Yeah.
Yes, they got that safety.
I'm trying to remember. I thought they picked Xavier Woods. I might be wrong.
You say Xavier Woods? You talking about the former Cowboy?
Let me get in here. No, Xavier Woods, the draft pick out of Notre Dame. He Who's the safety that went in the
Xavier
third round?
Watts.
You're not talking about Xavier
Xavier
Watts?
Watts. I'm sorry.
Xavier Watts.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I wanted him too. He nice.
Yeah, we wanted him
He-
too, but we ended up
Wait,
taking
Xavier
Dylan
Watts was
Gabriel.
Xavier Watts was in Seattle?
No, I think he went. We actually should have took him. When we took Dylan Gabriel, we wanted Xavier Watts.
Wait, you a Steelers fan?
No, we're Browns.
No, we're
fans.
Browns fans.
Oh, my bad. I got him mixed up with Will Howard. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
Hey, so what? Oh, y'all from Cleveland. That's right.
Yeah, we're Browns fans.
Yo. So, do you think Shador's gonna make the team, bro? Because I feel like he's our best option.
Yeah, I think how it's going to play out. I think both rookies will make the team because the GM here, when he doesn't really like to trade his draft picks, especially quarterbacks.
Okay.
Shador and Dylan are going to make the team. I think it's going to come down between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. There is a world where they do bring in all four guys beginning of the season. I don't think that's good. I think you should go into training camp with just three because I think it's really, really hard to divvy up reps between four guys unless the real competition is just between the vets and then the rookies. You just kind of let them grow and develop and maybe put them in there mid-season. I think I like Shador. I know Mike likes Shador the most. I think he has the most upside of any quarterback in that room. And I think they gotta find out and see what he can do out there because next year they have 2 first-round picks. It's gonna be a pretty good quarterback draft class. So I think you got to see what you got with Shador because if you hit on Shador, then now I can use those 2 first-rounders next year on other positions. But he's definitely going to make the team for sure. And I think Dylan will make the team. And I think it's going to come down to Pickett and Flacco. I think there's a world where you could see Kenny Pickett get traded to another team that maybe needs a quarterback desperately, and you keep Flacco. So I know, Mike, you think the same.
I mean, it's very rare that the Browns are a team that always takes 4 quarterbacks in, and one of them is always a draft asset, essentially, and it's always someone we sign or trade for earlier. You won't see us trade like a rookie quarterback by any means. Now, that might change with like the Dylan Gabriel stuff. That's still a head scratcher to most of us, I'd say, but I think Shador is most certainly making the team. He's not going anywhere. And
I should never drafted Gabriel. He sucks.
Yeah, I'd rather have Xavier Watts.
I'd rather have Xavier Watts,
but should have drafted defense. You know what I mean? I like Mason Graham. That was a nice pick.
Yeah, and Carson Schwessinger out of UCLA. He was the first pick of the second round to us as well. He's super nice.
How was he in college? I heard he was one of the best linebackers.
Yeah, he was the second best linebacker on my board behind Jihad Campbell. And I mean, Carson Schwessinger, it's just minicamp, but he's looked excellent. And he was insane in college his last year. He had over 130 tackles.
How you say his name?
Carson Schwessinger.
Schwessinger. Okay, I keep calling him Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, we've been calling him Schwess. The local media calls him Schwess. But
Schwessinger? Okay.
But yeah, he's going to be a dog. He's going to be a day one starter. JOK's unfortunately out for the year, so he's going to be our starting Mike. It appears.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely think we're hopeful for Shador here in Cleveland. A lot of people are really behind him and want him to. We really think he can work out here. We're hopeful because we're just looking for a quarterback finally.
Yeah, I cut off my left hand.
So, but T Sweeze, I appreciate you, brother, for coming up here. You come up here anytime. We'd love to have you back on. I got your channel up on the screen right here.
Definitely.
You want to tell people where they can find you at? I already subscribed. So
my channel is YNW Budamari. I'm a huge Celtic and Raider fan. Cover basketball and football. I made my channel 3 years ago. Small up and coming YouTuber. I'm still learning this YouTube stuff. I'm not consistent as everybody else. I would love to have you guys on there. I'm not just even though I'm a Celtic fan, I talk about his team, her team. You know what I'm saying? My team.
Right.
I would have covered free agency, but I'm at work, unfortunately. But yeah, though, man. If you look at my flashback videos, if you guys just like. Because I broke down the Boston Celtics cap situation and what should they do in the draft. Check out that video with that guy with Bad Stevens, the thumbnail. That's an interesting video. You can also look at my throwback videos from a year or 2 years ago. You can see the one with I got Reggie from locker room with BJ. I exposed BJ exposed the locker room. Like that throwback video was funny as heck, bro. You got Lamont from FYF on there arguing with Big Tone. You got Reggie from locker room going at it with BJ.
I see you
and
got
his
the
man.
player's choice too with Ticket TV.
Yeah,
I watch Ticket TV all the time.
oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah, I watch Ticket all the time.
I wouldn't know.
One of my good childhood teammates and friends has been actually appeared on Player's Choice a little bit. Dion from Ohio.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen Dion from Ohio up there. He's been on that show quite a bit. I grew up with Dion, so
they used to have white chocolate on there. I don't know what happened.
yeah, I don't know. He got in that big blowout with Ticket that time, and I didn't see him since. So.
Oh, he did? Oh,
Well, they got in like a
shit.
big argument. It ended fine, but they got in like a heated argument, like bad, and one night. It was very entertaining, but after that, though, I didn't really see him a whole lot. And I know Ticket's not really over there anymore either.
I didn't. I didn't know who Player Choice was until Ticket. You know what I'm saying? I found Ticket to Kwame Brown because Kwame Brown, he was
Oh, you
going
watch
viral.
Kwame?
Kwame, he hella fucking funny. See, I be
Oh,
telling
I love
Kwame, I
that's
say, Kwame, I love it when you talk basketball, bro. Can you talk basketball, please? Stop talking about politics.
no. I'm a huge Kwame Brown fan. That's funny you said. I've actually when he came out in 21 and did that video where he finally spoke up and told his side of the story, I've just been hooked on him ever since. And he actually was. If you ever get a chance to come to my channel, I have a go to my link tree. I have an article I just was written about me recently with my story because I actually came on the internet more for my story in life of overcoming anxiety and stuff.
Okay.
And that was my first video. That's what I'm most known for. And Kwame Brown, actually watching him do that video when he came out like that actually inspired me with my first video. So there's actually like a backstory between him and I. And I'm actually going to try to get him on the show one day. And maybe soon,
please.
but yeah, that's pretty cool. You watch him
That'd
too,
be
and
dope.
that's how I found Ticket too, was through Kwame, and so that's fine. So you probably know like Carcino and all those other guys as well, and
I follow Carcino too. Do Kwame Carcino funny though? He be exposing.
Carcino's funny as hell.
He be exposing the LeBron James coalition, and I'm surprised he's a Pistons fan.
Yeah, I know. He lives in Chicago.
He don't want to admit it, but he's a Pistons fan.
Yeah, he lives in Chicago. Grew up in Chicago. That's funny. He's got some good information too. Go check out Carcino.
Yeah. He hella funny though. I ain't gonna lie though.
Yeah.
He was trolling Gilbert Arenas. He got Gilbert Arenas talking about him.
Yeah, those two. Yeah, I know. Yeah, those guys have been going at it for a while because there was that whole thing with Kwame and Gil and.
Gilbert, I ain't gonna lie. Gilbert Arenas' fiance, she's pretty. Gilbert Arenas thought his fiance was gonna say Carcino was ugly or whatever, and then she complimented Carcino, and Carcino clipped that. And then he was trolling Gilbert Arenas, and then Kwame was sticking up for Carcino.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Like Ticket was saying that don't let the internet fool you. Kwame and Gilbert are brothers behind the scene. They just you know how people clash.
Yeah,
they
think
really
there is.
Cool, so they're not beefing.
Right.
It just you know what I'm saying.
I think
they've been on the same team.
Right. Yeah. I think Kwame knows how Gil is. Gil's a jokester. Gil's very good at. That's why his show's very successful right now. He's very good at pushing the needle and creating stuff and drawing interest, and he's a very good showman. I like Gil too. I've always followed his. Even when he had his old podcast before the show, I've watched it, and I liked his career as well. I love Gil as a player. I thought he was a phenomenal player, and yeah, I think there is love there. I think that's why they don't beef anymore publicly or whatever beef it was. I don't think there really was beef. I think it was just guys just going back and forth, and it was entertaining. And I agree. I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure if they saw each other, they probably dap up, have a beer, or whatever. But it's cool because Kwame's actually had AI on too, and he's had Charles Oakley on too via phone, and so yeah, it's pretty cool. That's cool though. You watch a lot of same people I watch. You watch too, so. But all right, T Sweezy, I appreciate it, brother, and come back anytime. We'll come over and check out your channel too. I think he cut out. All right. You there, Mike?
Joseph,
I am here.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Go ahead, T Sweezy.
Joseph and Mike, y'all follow me on Instagram. I have sent it in the private chat.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got you right here. I'll go. We'll make sure
Joseph,
to go follow you.
I would like to bring on my show and Mike as well to talk about the Browns. Cause I gotta start getting into this football shit for real.
So that's your Instagram right there in the chat.
Yeah, just Little Mari. I'm gonna change my channel name. I just need to think of a basketball name. I just put the YNW because it's tight. Because if you, I can't say what it means because I don't want to get your channel in trouble. But that shit's saucy, so that's why I put that white W in front of it. But my
Okay,
Instagram
yeah.
just Ludamari, like Ludacris,
Okay, yeah, Ludamari. So Ludamari, I guess, or T Sweet. What do you want me to call you?
T
T Sweezy? Or?
Sweezy or Ludamari. That's
All
my
right,
name.
well, I'll call you T Sweet. That's what I've been calling you. But yeah, I'll hit you up on Instagram, and yeah, we'll more gladly come on your show because we actually cover the Browns
Absolutely.
in depth, and yeah, we'll pop in there and give you
Yeah.
guys an update.
I got EV Mug, so we both could cross stream, so that'll work for both of us.
All
Or you
right,
could just
cool.
come on my show if you don't want to cross stream. I mean, it's on you.
All right, yeah, I'll hit you up on Instagram. I'll follow you, and then yeah, whatever we'll get in contact about it. So
Okay, bet.
appreciate it for
Appreciate you for
coming
having
on,
me on the
brother.
show. Yeah,
Absolutely,
your channel was dope. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you, Joe.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You
Keep going,
too.
brother.
All right, one.
Shout out to T Sweezy, Mike. Go subscribe to him.
Absolutely. Go subscribe, give a like, give a share.
You guys go support the other fellow YouTubers out there grinding, trying to put out content. Go help them out and show them some love. But well, Mike, you want to tell me they can like, subscribe, and share at?
Folks,
Why they need to? Excuse me.
I can tell you where, and I can tell you why.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
where is right here, and the why is because we're just an up and coming show that's doing our utmost to connect with all sorts of different people talking about sports, mental health, and everything in between. Sometimes we'll even get into food debates lately. Apparently,
I gotta hold on. What's he said? He said you didn't see my Genie Bus comment, Joe. I'm not gonna read the comment. I'll put it on the screen.
it's right there. It's right there, right on the water.
But Humble, you're crazy, dude. That's why I love you. But go ahead, Mike. Finish up.
But that's why you got to like, subscribe, and share because we're up and coming and we're trying to grow this channel to where we want it to be. And we want you to be a part of that journey. And we want to thank everybody who commented, took the time to ask a question, all of that good stuff. Even if you disagree with us, we love hearing from you. We love answering questions and debating in a respectful manner. So always feel free to chime in, even if you like it, dislike it, agree, disagree, whatever it may be. We appreciate it. Thank you all so much for joining. Like, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for the next episode.
That's right. You heard what the man said. Like, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Are you doing? I'm saluting, Mike. What are you doing?
I'm upside down handstand right now. I'm wearing a night robe with one of those old school caps, and I'm holding one of the a candle by the wicker.
All right, that's a hell of a
That's
hell of an outro.
You'll never see it, but it's the best way to salute.
All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys. Gone.
Later.